Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes.
Hope I'm audible. Good evening to everyone. Good evening to everyone. Hope you all are doing good. So before starting the webinar, we have some instructions for you. Hope you will cooperate with us. So all the participants are requested to turn off their audio and video. Any queries can be typed in the chat box and it will be conveyed to the speakers by the host. No generalized messages like good morning and personal introductions in the chat box. Everyone should fill the feedback form after the session. The e-certificate will be provided for your active participation. So after this session, we'll be providing a feedback form in the chat box. So you can fill the form and get the e-certificate. So hope everyone will be cooperating to us. So let's start today's webinar. So I welcome Anaga KP of third year civil to deliver the welcome address. Welcome Anaga.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session on the topic A Journey of Passion, organized by the Civil Engineering Department in association with IIC and IEEE. And so today we have with us a very talented personality, Mrs. Shilpa Akhil. She's a Dubai based Indian artist as well as an entrepreneur. And her works mainly includes mural paintings, pencil sketches, clay sculpting, abstract painting, sustainable art, etc. And she's actually a civil engineering graduate and has former industrial experience as well. But her passion was different, and so she tried to pursue her passion and became a full-time artist. She's a firm believer in sustainable art, and so her artworks it mainly includes collecting these waste materials of glass and plastic, and then decorating and then making into home decor. And her initiative, Swadhyaya, it helps untrained people self-educate themselves in artworks, especially sustainable art. Her paintings mainly include these dance forms of Kerala, religious deities of India, folklore art, social issues, and landscapes. And her works have been featured in the Dubai-based Malayalam channel NTV, and she is a member of the Dubai-based art community Artsar. And I'm so proud to say that she was one among the 17 women from 10 countries representing India in the International Women's Day Exhibition 2020. And she has also participated in many other exhibitions. So I'm so glad to invite you, ma'am, on behalf of Ahalia School of Engineering and Technology. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Hearty welcome, ma'am. Next, I would like to extend my gratitude towards our principal, Dr. P.R. Sri Mahadevan Pillai, sir, for always encouraging us to do more and more webinars like this today. Welcome, sir. And next, I would like to welcome all the participants who are present today. And once again, welcome you all, and I think that you will have a great time ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you so much Anaga for your welcome address. Department of Civil Engineering in association with IEEE of Ahalia School of Engineering and Technology is coordinating today's webinar, The Journey of Passion by Mrs. Shilpa Akhil. Today's webinar is on the topic Journey of Passion. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. You can do anything as long as you have the passion, the desire, and the focus and the support. Stop chasing the money and start chasing your passion. Instead of worrying about what you cannot control, start shifting your energy to what you can create. On this note, I welcome Mrs. Shilpa Akhil. I hand over the session to ma'am. I hope your evening will be fabulous and we'll make it little productive. So I welcome ma'am.
Thank you so much. And good evening. It's an honor to be here today and to receive this opportunity. And I would like to thank Ahalia and especially Mrs. Kripa for granting me the space and time. Now, before I begin, I would like to ask two simple questions to all of you. How many of you believe that you're talented and gifted? And how many of you have pursued a career in synergy with your talents and gifts? Those questions are for you to answer yourself and do a reality check. And what I believe in is each and every one of you have your own set of talents and gifts. And for the people who think otherwise, it's only a matter of discovering yourself. Now, I believe I'm a talented person. I believe I'm a gifted person. But this realization and this self confidence came to me only by the age of 23. Starting off with my journey, since childhood, I'd been a very inquisitive child. I was a very creative child. I was always mesmerized by the wonders of colors and what they could do, how they could work. And I was lost in the world of creativity and craft. I dreamt of leaving a signature of my own in this world. And hence, when I grew up and when I had to pursue a career, I wanted to pursue a career in sync with this. And hence, when posed with the usual Indian household question, which I'm sure most of you must have encountered, which is engineering or medicine, I chose engineering and I chose civil engineering because I believed I would find my soul calling in the construction industry. Now, years passed on. I completed my BTech, and a month after graduating, I was hired as a procurement engineer in the tendering and contracts division of a reputed contracting firm in UAE. I'm sure you must understand the enthusiasm and the excitement of a fresher graduate landing upon a job in par with her degree and what she had learned, which is not very common these days. So I put my whole heart into the job. I put my complete commitment, complete hard work. But what welcomed me baffled my creative self. I was weighed down by the pressures of numbers and tender bits. And that's where my life revolved around. I found out that I couldn't use my creative self anywhere among the tendering department, and that actually pulled me down. While I appreciate and value the learnings I've had from the corporate life I've spent, but the mechanized job routine actually stifled my creative energy. And what happens when your creative energy or the energy within you is stifled? What happens is you start to feel suffocated. And you start to feel suffocated because what you do on a daily basis does not resonate with the energy you have within you. And that's what happened to me. And eventually I turned into a robot who worked from 9 to 6. And with the industry demanding more, I had to even work for long hours. And I couldn't find out anything passionate about that job. And that's when the twist in my life came about. In 2017, I got married and I was accompanied by a beautiful companion, a beautiful human being. He saw right through me that I was not following my passion and that I was capable of doing much more than what I was doing then. And he saw right through my eyes that this was not what I wanted to do. Because my life practically ended up juggling between my work life and a few artful moments I spent. And I practically sneaked it into my busy routine. And those were the only moments of escape I had from my real world. So when I saw dreams for me, he saw bigger dreams for me. And he actually brought faith and trust into my talents because until then, I was someone who believed that I did not have any special talents within me or I was not gifted. I thought I was meant to spend my life in this industry because I practically took a degree in that. So he brought faith and trust into my talents. With his support, I took the life-changing decision of mine, and that was I left my job and Swadhyaya was born. Now, talking about Swadhyaya, I'm sure all of you must be having this question in your mind. Why the name? Because that name is not easy to pronounce or is not easy to remember. That's what you might think. But that name holds a very special place in my heart because the name was chosen because a word meant self-study and self-exploration. And that actually resonates with my journey. I'll tell you why. Because I'm a self-taught artist. As you can see in the slides, all the work you have seen till date, I'm a self-taught artist, and I've had absolutely no training for what I have done yet. So I don't have a mentor, I don't have a guide to support me or guide me through the art industry. I left my job behind, and finally I had taken up something which actually posed a lot of challenges in front of me. The life that I had left behind was much easier, but I chose to start a business and that actually posed a lot of challenges for me. Now we all might come across this realization that we are not in the right place, we are not doing the right thing. But what happens is we have the weight of the whole society burdened over our shoulders. We have the weight of others' opinions bothering us. The famous "log kya kahenge" question, right? And I wasn't someone who was immune to any of them. I was bothered by it. I actually spent a lot of my time thinking, what would other people think? But later on, I found out, after a few months into Swadhyaya, I found out that I'd taken the right decision. You might feel this was a cakewalk and I could just take up the decision and just move on. That's not what happened. That's not what I faced in the real world. When I left the construction industry and I stepped on to the art industry, the biggest challenge I faced was, first of all, I told you, I never had any mentor or guide. I don't have a teacher, I don't have a tutor who have taught anything to me. So basically, I didn't have any backbone support in the industry. And I was someone with no background, no certificates, no fine art degree, and hence no opportunities knocking my door. Because I was someone who was not from the industry, I was an outsider to the industry, and they didn't know I was there yet. I had to make myself visible in the industry, and you can see for yourself. Art industry is just like any other industry where we practically have a wave of people working there. There are people, the competition we face is with people who have spent all their lives learning art, getting trained, having wonderful opportunities. And one fine day, a 23-year-old lady walked into that industry and she found herself without any support. That's what I faced. And when I realized that I will always stay an outsider if I sit back and wait for opportunities to knock my door, I realized I have to make a stand and I have to put my feet down and say, this is what I am and this is what I'm going to do. And to get recognized in the industry, I realized that I'll have to create opportunities for myself. That was no easy task, and that did not happen overnight. What I did was, as an artist, I believe that my works should talk for themselves. And that's exactly what I did. I used all the available resources I had, online or not. I used to go to art galleries. I used to have meetings with them. I used to talk to them. I used to take my paintings along with me. And I used to show people, I used to knock at doors and show people who are in the art industry that this is my work. Check it out. And if you like it, take it forward. Because that's the only thing that has worked for me, considering my background in the art industry. And today, when Swadhyaya is standing proudly among the Dubai art industry, I'm proud of where we have reached with the almost 2-year journey, because today Swadhyaya is a recognized name here, and we participate in exhibitions, we take part in media programs, we have been featured by the media, and we are part of a reputed art community called Artisar. And apart from all these, maybe I should say above all these, there's something which I'm very proud of doing. And that is, I create digital content. I create free, detailed tutorials for like-minded people. For like-minded people, in the sense for like-minded, passionate people about art who are untrained due to several life situations, due to several situations like that of mine. Because some people cannot afford to take art classes. Some might be very passionate about it, but they would not be capable of taking art classes due to various life situations. And what I believe as an artist is for people who are passionate about art, for the common basic people, at least the basics of art should be made accessible to them. And that's why I chose to do it for free. If you have seen the slides of the presentation, you would have seen all the works, majority of them are having detailed tutorials for beginners to learn on my channel. And I chose, instead of art classes or online workshops or paid classes or paid workshops, basically, I chose the easiest accessible medium today that we have, and that is YouTube. So I chose YouTube because that is something which is commonly available for people who are on the internet. For people who want to learn art, they can definitely benefit from my classes. And apart from that, what I do is I personally interact with whoever wants to interact with us. And I personally guide them and I help them. And we clarify doubts, we give them personalized ideas on the tutorials. So in case you know someone who can benefit from this, please let them know about our channel. Our channel name is Stories from Swadhyaya, and we have free tutorials on various works like acrylic and watercolor paintings, on mural paintings, on sustainable art. We collect bottles and waste materials from the community we live in, and we create art with it. So apart from being an artist, apart from taking from the industry, I'm giving something back to the industry too, also giving back something to the world. Because what I believe is there's no point in sending forward messages or sharing posts on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. That's not going to take us beyond a step. It hits a point where the awareness is done, the awareness is created, but about that, if something has to happen, us individuals have to do something about it. If you simply sit in the comfort of your home and if you simply keep sharing posts and keep sharing messages, that is required until a stage where awareness has to be created. And once the awareness has been created, then what you do, that's what actually matters. At least that's what I believe in. And I have brought it into my life so that I do sustainable art. I create home decor with waste materials collected, which are practically waste materials which you would simply shuffle down the trash. And today I'm proud of doing that because through my channel, through Stories from Swadhyaya, a lot of people who didn't even know about bottle art and sustainable art have started doing it with the available resources from their own homes. I have a group of people who actually send in pictures. Watching our tutorials, they've created sustainable art. And I believe through Swadhyaya, we have grown into a community that is giving back to the earth. And the major goal of Swadhyaya has always been to help people, to help art enthusiasts who are untrained. Because if you look around, the fortunate group who could take classes and go for professional courses and pursue a career in that are actually a minority. They're not a majority. The majority of us are untrained. We have taken academic courses maybe, but when it comes to art, the majority of us are untrained. And people have to start somewhere, and Swadhyaya is somewhere like-minded people like me can start, because I go down to the basics and explain what I do and help them create the exactly same artwork that I create. So the major goal of Swadhyaya has always been to help people, to support them, to inspire them to discover their talents and put it to best use. And as an artist, what I believe in is, if you are someone who is passionate in art, I want you to see the magic I see in art. I want you to have the feeling that I feel in art. And that's what Swadhyaya is all about. Now, talking about my journey, I know my journey is not up for an eye to eye comparison with yours, which is true. When I was asked to conduct a webinar for the engineering students in the engineering faculty, I knew that I was not. I'm sorry, there is.
Please turn off your mic. Hello? Sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. Are we done?
No.
Yes, ma'am. Please turn off your mic, please. Okay, ma'am. You can continue.
All right. So, where was I? Yes, the futuristic goal of Swadhyaya. Now, where I see Swadhyaya from 10 years from here is, I would like to have Swadhyaya as a physical space where people can come and learn art, and where people can learn art through professional courses. And we are also looking forward to volunteer and get involved with specially able children. We have centers working here for specially able children, and we are trying to volunteer with them and get involved with them. And also for people suffering from stress and depression, we look forward to helping them find relief through art. So this is where I see 10 to 15 years down the lane, where I foresee Swadhyaya happening. Now, as I said before, our journeys are not up for comparison. You're all engineers. But what I want you to take back from this session is, no matter what profession you choose to be in, no matter what industry you choose to be in, whatever you choose to do in your life, the real world out there is not a cakewalk. The real world out there demands the survival of the fittest. We don't even have an option to be average. It demands the survival of the fittest. And to sustain in such huge competition, we have to be an achiever. Whatever you do, let it be engineering or anything else that you do, this should be something which you always keep in your mind, because you have to be an achiever. And to be an achiever, you will normally hear a lot of usual stunts like commitment, hard work, perseverance. But there's something which nobody tells you, or is there something which nobody told me when I was of the age of 18 or 20. The journey of your career is something which is to be enjoyed every moment. Every moment of the process, you're supposed to feel alive. And if that does not happen, what happens is 5 years into your career, you'll simply be slogging your life away on a desk from 9 to 5. Trust me, that's how the corporate world is. The corporate world is something where we have a lot of competition, and you need pure passion to sustain in that. You need pure passion for your career. And the commitment and hard work that we mentioned earlier, to be an achiever, the commitment and hard work should be driven by your passion, by the pure passion for what you do. Now, especially in today's situation, in today's job market situation, if you look at the real world around you, the market situation is going downhill, and the competition out there is huge. Huge, especially for you engineers, because there is a humongous number of engineers passing out every year. And to sustain and survive in the industry, the competition should start within yourself, to strive to be better at what you do. each and every single day. Each and every single day, you have to be better at what you do. Because if not, you'll surely get thrown out of the industry or you'll get backseated, which is not what we aspire to be professionals look at. So, to sustain in the industry, firstly to survive and then to succeed, you have to be your own competition. The passion for your job is something which is pretty outdated. Like people always say, people always talk about passion, but I don't think many of them understand the pure meaning of passion. People say passion for your career, have passion, be passionate. That is something which I've always listened to. But what I believe in is the passion for your job. What I want you to always remember is when we say the passion for your career or the passion for your job, it is going to be the passion for something which you're going to do every single day of your life. Your job or your profession is equally important as your daily routine. It is going to be a part of your life. Every day, don't consider weekends as your off. You'll still, if you are very passionate about your work, if you're very passionate about what you do, you'll think, sleep, eat, breathe. You'll practically live your life along with your profession, along with your career. And trust me, if you're not passionate about it, then it's not a nice place to be in. So I hope you're all passionate about your job, about the career which you're learning for, and the passion for something which you do every day in your life. That's the only thing that will drive you, that will give you the energy to travel that extra mile to excel and succeed in what you do. Because you have no other option. You have to be an achiever, you have to succeed to survive in the real world. I hope you take back this with you, even if you have forgotten everything I told you before about my journey and all. But this, please keep it in your mind. When you're learning, learn for your job, learn for your career. And if you don't find passion in what you do, and that's not the end of the world. If you, I'm sorry if I have faculty members here, but I have to tell you this. In case you find yourself in the wrong place, in the wrong industry, do not settle down for something less, because that will not bring out the best in you. That will not bring out your full power, your full energy, and your full hardcore commitment into what you do. And even the industry you work in will not benefit from it if you're not 100% into it. So please follow your passion. And finally, I would like to quote Oprah Winfrey: passion is energy. It is pure energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. And please keep this with you. Please remind this. Please remember this always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your session was very inspiring. It's personally, I'm inspired from your story. Even I wanna chase my passion. So thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring everyone. And it's time for queries. Anyone can come up with your queries in the chat box. Anyone. If there is any queries, you can ask on the chat box. The feedback form will be like we will put the link for the feedback form. You should fill the feedback form to get the e-certificate. Until then, if there is any queries, you can ask.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Shilpa, this is the
Yes,
principal of the college. I've been listening to you so far. You have given an excellent speech.
Thank
So
you
now,
so much.
since I have to attend another meeting, I'm just quitting. So hope that you'll be addressing our staff and students frequently. Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we have got a question.
Okay.
Ma'am, could you give us an insight about how to find our passion?
To find your passion, I'm giving you insights from my journey because I'm no scholar, I'm no expert in this. I'm just giving you insights from my journey. So to find your passion, you should, I think you should take about whatever you wanted to do since a child. Do not lose the child in you. Because as a child, I was always a creative person, but my family is something which is fully packed with academic people, and everybody is looking onto professional courses. And what I had back then was considered only as a hobby. So today, when I look back, I feel I should have pursued and I should have taken care of what I had in me as a child, what I was passionate about. And I believe if you're passionate about something, that is going to travel along with you in all stages of your life. If, see, I took civil engineering because I thought, okay, I'm someone who likes to draw, and I'm someone who's interested in interior decor and basically home decor and everything creative. I used to do a lot of crafts, and what I did was I thought, okay, I'll find my soul in civil engineering in the construction industry. I'll find my creativity being put to best use. And if that did not happen, then I feel I should have, instead of taking a BTech, I should have taken a BFA in finance. I should have taken a bachelor's in finance. So that's a realization which came to me at the later stage of 23 years. So to understand your passion, travel back into your childhood, understand what your passion was, and I'm sure if it is something which is supposed to stay with you, it is going to travel along with you in all stages of your life. Like art was something which was always there with me. All throughout these 23 years, I've done various things. I've done my schooling, done my college, done my degree in something else, but art was something which traveled along with me. So I would suggest you look into yourself to find your passion, and I'm sure you'll find it. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you, ma'am. We have many more questions.
Okay.
So, have you ever gotten so annoyed with a coworker or partner only to realize later that you were actually grumpy because of something that happened earlier that day? You can read the question in our chat box.
Oh,
Shamin
sure.
Ferrari, yes, question from Shamin.
Okay. No, this has not happened. Uh, there are instances where I got annoyed with a coworker because what I have faced in the corporate world is, especially when you're a fresh graduate. I was a fresher graduate when I joined my corporate life. And the people in the department, there are certain people who have years of experience. So what they've done is they've tried to dump stuff on me, and used to they used to surpass their work and they used to dump it on me, and I was supposed to do my work as well as their work. And they were just taking advantage of my inexperience in the industry because we are just freshly graduated from college. Just 1 month after graduation, I was hired. So they used to take advantage of that, and later on, maybe 3 months into the job, I realized where I should say no, and I started saying no too. But according to your question, I wasn't grumpy and I wasn't taking it on them. Such a thing has not happened to me. But yes, I've been annoyed with a coworker for such reasons that I stated.
Okay, we have another question. Where do you spend your free time? What did you want to be as a kid?
Okay, that's an interesting one. Where do you spend your free time? Okay, so telling you about a daily routine for me, apart from my events or exhibitions, when we don't have anything of that sort, what I do is I research a lot. I read a lot. Well, I told you I'm a self-taught artist. So the reading and the research on my part is something which has taken me so far, because I don't have anyone to spoon feed me or tell me do this, do that. So I research, I read a lot, I read books. I read books on different techniques of painting, etc., on sustainable art, what more can be done. I do my research. That's one thing that I do. And once I have an idea in me, then I I don't consider it as a free time, but I try to take classes. Like I said, I do post videos on my YouTube channel, Stories from Swadhyaya. So basically, I don't think, I don't consider it as a free time. I don't get free time because I'm married, I have a family to take care of, and I also have my career to take forward. And every moment I spend, even if you see me sitting on my sofa with my mobile, I'll be doing something for my channel, because that's where I spend a lot of my time. So apart from that, I the research, the background work is what I do, what I spend my time on. And
Yes, ma'am, we have another interesting question. Does an
okay.
early marriage impact us anyway in achieving more in life? Does an early marriage impact us anyway in achieving more in life?
um, it depends on who you get married to. I'm being very honest with you, but that is a reality. I have been blessed with a very supportive husband. So my marriage actually took me out of a world where I didn't want to be in, and it actually opened new doors for me, because he's someone who wanted. He is the one who brought in faith and trust into. I started trusting myself only when I saw the amount of trust he had in me. So for in my experience, there might be women who tell you otherwise, but in my experience, I'm blessed with a beautiful spouse who has actually encouraged me. And the reason I'm sitting in front of you today is only because of him, because he's the one who actually gave me the freedom. Because one thing that comes with leaving your job is, when you try to be an entrepreneur, the challenge is you're not blessed with a paycheck that comes every month. So the financial freedom he gave me in our marriage is something which has supported me a lot, and which has actually kept me going forward. And he actually gave wings to my dreams. So an early marriage might affect people out there. It depends on who you get married to.
Okay, I think the queries have ended up. So, any more queries? Anyone can ask. Okay, having a degree with you, will that be useful in doing any business not related to that?
Uh, what I believe is, the degree we have actually holds a space in the society for us, because I've been respected as a civil engineer, especially when I had a corporate life with me. So if you're planning to move ahead, civil engineering, especially from my experience, it has been, I've been working with contracting firms, I have worked with architectural products firms. So it is a wide area which you will have to explore more, and you'll have to find your way in it. Because for me, I am someone who went away from the industry totally. Like I'm in no way connected to the construction industry anymore. So going to art galleries and saying I'm a BTech holder in civil engineering is not going to open doors for me. So for me, the industry that I have chosen depends on what business you plan to do. If you plan to do something related to civil engineering, the opportunities you have is vast. You have a wide array of materials you can choose from. There are a lot of chances for you. So I would suggest, if you're someone who would like to do a business, you should explore your opportunities. And if it is something like art, which is in no way connected to the construction industry, it has not opened doors for me. Depends on what business you do.
Ma'am, we have more questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. The successful career which you did as in UAE can a success can such a business venture be set in competitive India?
Definitely,
Definitely.
yes. In fact, in UAE, the problem we have is we have to take licenses, we have to take trade licenses for each and everything you do. For exhibiting, you need, if you're an independent exhibitor, you will need to have a trade license for exhibiting. If you want to open a website and if you want to start selling online, you'll need a separate trade license for that. And if you're someone who wants to do a work at home, then you'll need a separate license for that, which is called Palakkad. So we have a lot of complications in paperwork here, and that is actually restraining me from spreading out my works ahead. And I'm actually waiting to take a trade license. That's why I said it might take 10 years to start a physical space for Swadhyaya, because to start a physical space, there's a lot of paperwork behind it. So I want to make sure that I have a renowned name in the industry first, so that people would know about me and watch my works and get make use of it. And only then I want to start a physical space, so that it will be a next step to it. In India, I have friends in India who are artists, and they sell their works online very easily. For us here, if you don't have a trade license, if you don't have a license to do, even to post a picture or a painting online and say this is for sale, you need a license. So what I have been, that was a challenge which I faced since I was in UAE. And I believe if I was in India, it wouldn't have been this stringent. So for me, the way I worked it around was I started associating with art galleries. So the art gallery owners would have licenses already, and I started selling my works through their art galleries. It can be online, it can be otherwise, and I started exhibiting with them. So that's how far we have reached here. And maybe hopefully in the future I'll take a trade license and I'll start off. But to answer your question, I think it's easier to start off in India than in UAE. In UAE, if you want to start off, you will need to have a stash of cash with you, because the trade license and the paperwork here is very expensive.
Yes, ma'am. We have our HOD here from ECE department. He's asking you that have you ever faced any challenges?
Uh, where is this question? Okay, challenges faced. Uh, like I said, the challenges faced, the first thing was the weight of the society on me, because I was someone who was very careful about what the society thought, what their thoughts on me was, and what their opinion was. And that was the first hurdle that actually stopped me from starting this before the age of 23 itself. So that's one thing. And the second challenge that I faced was when I decided to leave my job. I actually had a whole set of family members, and I had a whole set of people around me. Apart from my husband, there were a lot of people who tried to negatively pull me down. They came in. I used to get a lot of free advices from people who had no idea about what art was, who have never even picked up a brush and paint in their hands. I used to get a lot of free advices, and that used to bother me because it used to pull me down. They used to try to pull me down, and they used to stop me. They used to say, you have a degree with you, you have a safe profession with you, why don't you take it up? And for common people who look from the outside, when they look at it, I'm someone who got the blessing of getting into a job that was in the core industry at the very early age of 21. So when people wanted me to stay in the profession and they wanted me to have a safe career, they said, okay, at least every month you'll receive a paycheck. And that was something which is stable. When you start a business, the problem is there's this question of stability, yes. But what stays with you is not the business that you set up. What stays with you is your talent. That's why I asked you in the beginning, how many of you believe you're talented? Because we have to believe we are talented. I'm sure every single person has their own talents. So the first challenge I faced was about the society and about the family and all that. After that, once I took the decision, once I stood up against the world and I said, I'm going to do this and this is what I want to do, then the challenges faced, I've already told you about it, like about no background, no support. I don't have a degree. I tried to teach basically my interest is to teach people art, the not so fortunate people who cannot even take classes. I want them to try their hands on something which they have within themselves. If you have a creative energy within you, I believe you should be able to put it to use. I don't think, because that's not something which everybody gets. Certain talents are not, especially in art. If you have an artistic talent, it is not something which everybody gets. It's not something which everybody is gifted with. So I don't want people with that talent to waste it away. And I wanted to teach people. And the main question which I faced when I went to the industry, art industry, to teach was, what degree do you hold? At least, do you have a bachelor's in finance? Which I did not have. So that was a challenge, and that is a major challenge, because you walk into an industry as an outsider. In the construction industry, I at least had a degree with me to say, and by then I had 2 years of corporate experience too. But after that, in the art industry, when I joined, I was a complete outsider for them. What is a civil engineer doing in the art industry? That's what they asked. So I had to prove myself, and it comes with commitment and patience. It doesn't happen overnight. It did not happen overnight for me. It came about with commitment and patience. It came about with a very slow, it was a very slow process for me. I'll tell you my journey. I started putting up my paintings on my Facebook personal profile. People started seeing it. People started giving me good feedback. Then I started a Facebook page, because those are the things which I did not want to spend a lot on something which I wasn't very sure of it. Even though my husband was very sure that I would succeed in this industry, I had my own doubts, which we all have. We all have our own set of doubts, and the self-doubt is always there. So I started a Facebook page, and the page worked out well for me. I started getting better feedback from the public. Then I started an Instagram account, and the Instagram account also worked out well for me. And then after all this, I started getting comments from the people in the art industry who have like 15 years experience in the art industry. They started seeing my works online being shared, and then I participated in my first exhibition. I exhibited one painting, and from there, then the self-doubt started reducing, and only then self-confidence started building up. So even though I had my husband telling me every single day that you're capable of doing this, I was not someone who put my foot in the front and just went on. This was a slow process for me, and those were the challenging times for me. Like today, when I sit back and think, today when we have come so far, we are associated with art galleries, we have done exhibitions. I was interviewed in a local Malayalam channel here, and those are all things which I wouldn't have even dreamt of then, because such were the challenges that I faced. So those were the challenges that I've faced, and I've come here, and I'm glad I'm here today.
Yes, ma'am. We have an artist in our group, Asia. She has a question for you. Ma'am, I was actually fascinated about calligraphy, portrait drawing, etc. And I'm a civil engineering student too. Your session is really helpful for me and inspiring too. How do you plan on growing your business? Did you face any negative experience when you moved on with your passion as an artist?
Okay, I think I've already answered the last question about the negative experiences I faced. I wouldn't call them negative experiences, because those were all lessons for me to learn. And eventually they've all positively impacted me, because if what I have noticed is, if 10 people says something negative, or if 10 people try to pull you down, I had hundreds of people who liked my works, who liked my paintings, who wanted to do at least as much as I do. So the negative, I wouldn't call it negative experience, but those are all lessons which molded me into what I am today. And I'm thankful even for the people who asked me not to do this, because when each person came up to me and told me not to do this, that was in fact a fuel to keep moving on. And so I've already answered her question. And planning on growing my business also, I've already answered. 10 to 15 years down the lane, where I see myself is having a physical space for Swadhyaya, because right now, apart from doing exhibitions and events, our works are mostly online. I take online classes, and online classes in the sense, I put up tutorials on YouTube, and I'm available on Facebook, Instagram, or whichever medium people want to communicate with me. I'm available on those portals, and people come to me, people actually message me, because there are a lot of people, especially the problem with untrained people is they will never be confident enough to comment or ask a doubt on a public portal. They'll always prefer to do it in privacy. And I have people who constantly come and message me, and they ask me their doubts, they clear their doubts, they recreate my works using my tutorials, and then they come back to me. So I want this to grow as a community of people who are not fortunate enough to learn art. And yes, when I start a physical space, I want a session where I can conduct workshops free of cost for people. At the same time, I want to do paid professional courses for people who want to take this up as a career. So that's where I see myself growing in 10 to 15 years. And also, like I said, Dubai has a lot of centers with specially able children. And I think they would be able to find a different perspective about life if art is introduced to them. So I want to volunteer with specially able children. And also, there are a lot of people who are suffering from depression and stress today, which is a very common thing nowadays in our generation, especially. So I have found a magic in art. There's a magical feeling when you create something, when you turn an empty canvas. What I have, if you have seen the presentation, you must have seen my works. Each one of them was a blank canvas in front of me, and I turned it into something else that you see today. So there's a joy in creating that. And I want people who are interested in art, who have that creative energy within them, I want them to feel that. I want them to understand that. At least have a glimpse of it. Put your creative energy to use. And then if you want to take it forward, you take it forward. If not, keep it as a hobby for you. Let it be a stress reliever. Let it be something which you go to when you're feeling suffocated, or when you have that stressed feeling. Let art be your moment of escape from the real world. So that's where I see myself growing in 10 to 15 years. We all have dreams, and this is my dream.
Yes, ma'am. If we carry always our passion, and passion will it not ruin our day-to-day life?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
Yes. If we carry always our passion, and passion will it not ruin our day-to-day life?
I don't think so. I think that's a ridiculous thing to think about, because see, if you might be thinking about it because I'm an artist sitting in front of engineers, speaking to engineers. And if you have thought that the passion you have will ruin your day-to-day life, I don't know how you live your day-to-day life without your passion. That's what I said. Irrespective of what career let it be an artist, let it be an engineer, let it be a doctor, let it be a baker. It doesn't matter what profession you choose to be in. I don't understand how you go about your day-to-day life without having passion in it. If you always carry a passion, if you believe that your passion is going to ruin your day-to-day life, then I'm pretty sure that you're not following your passion. Because I'm talking to you as a normal person who has just followed passion. Keep apart the fact that I'm a civil engineering graduate who turned into an artist and you're engineers. Keeping that apart, whatever we do in our day-to-day life, we have to be passionate about it. Let me tell you a very simple example. Let it be a homemaker. Okay, a homemaker is one of the most underrated works in our society today. But a homemaker is someone who does a lot of work. In fact, someone who works on a 24-hour basis. If that person is not passionate about making that home, if that person is not passionate about doing what she does for her family, then I don't think she'll be able to do that. It's just the same way with any career you choose. That's what I said when I presented the webinar. That's why I put that point. No matter what you do, no matter what profession you choose to be in, I just want you to, what I would recommend is you follow it with passion, with pure passion, because there might be a time that comes when you will be cursing yourself. You might be cursing your day. You If you come back from your office and then you just curse your day, then I don't think that's the kind of day-to-day life you should be living in, right? Let each day, because each day in today's world, each day is a gift to us, because we cannot be sure that we'll be alive tomorrow. So at least today you pursue your passion. Today you follow what your heart says. And I don't advise you to stray away from your bachelor's degree and do something else. No, continue on your bachelor's degree, but what you're doing currently, do it with passion and do it with your heart in it, with your heart, body, soul, mind, and everything focused in it, because that is something which you're going to do in your day-to-day life. Okay, the question is up for a debate, I think. So the homemaking might not be a. So the person has commented, homemaking might always not be a passion. It is forced upon. It can't be passion in homemaking always. I don't think there are people who are not passionate about homemaking. I personally know people who are passionate about homemaking, especially uh, people very close to me, like my mother-in-law. She's very passionate about homemaking. And I don't think there's anything less when a woman chooses to be a homemaker, because that's a lot of work. For people who do that on a daily basis, they know that it's a lot of work. And talking about being forced upon, I know people who have pursued engineering just because their parents forced it upon them. Just because their parents thought it was a status issue. If he was not an engineer or a doctor, that was a status issue for the family. And I personally know people of that sort. So if you say it is forced upon, there are people who have gone into engineering and medicine as well, and it has been forced upon them. So I seriously don't get your point. Like, what you don't understand, I'm sure you have not understood what I wanted to convey. And the message I wanted to convey is, whatever you do, if you're forced and if you don't have a way out of it, then there's nothing anybody can do about it. After all, it's your life and your choice. Like, my life was my choice. I did not have the whole world supporting me or standing with me to do what I do today. It was my choice. It was only my choice. Even though I had my husband's support, if I decided to continue in my career, I would have done that. So it was my choice to decide what I wanted to do with my career. That was my choice. And after all, your life is your choice. So if you are someone who thinks you should not follow your life passionately, if you're someone who cannot find passion in your day-to-day life, if you're not someone who doesn't find passion in your breath, in the daily things we do, then I think you're in the wrong place. You're not supposed to be listening to me, because I'm someone who's very passionate about life, and I'm someone who thinks I'm blessed with this life, and I want to make the most out of it. So if you're not a passionate person, then I think you're in the wrong place and you're listening to the wrong person. Okay, that person has commented that if your husband would not have supported you, you might not enjoy your passion. Well, if my husband did not support me, and if I still stayed in the engineering career, even then I wouldn't have enjoyed my life. And if my husband's support was not there for my art career, at least I would know that this is what I don't think you have listened to me intently, because when I said I am passionate about art, I told you from the moment I could remember about my life, I've already told you. Because I'm someone who was very creative in my childhood, and art is something which has traveled along with me all throughout my life. So even if today I'm fortunate that I have my husband with me. If I don't have my husband with me, he'll be one among the rest of the people who have not supported me. So that's the idea behind it, you know. I have people from family and friends who don't support me, who don't think I'm doing something worthwhile. And if my husband did not support me, still I would be happy that I'm doing something I'm passionate about, and he will be one among those people who do not support me. That's all. But it doesn't matter with me enjoying my passion. That's a very personal choice, and that's my choice.
Man, it was really a great session. Like it was like interviewing you, and I really enjoyed it. Hope you also enjoyed, like
Yes, thank
sharing your viewpoints. And chasing your passion is really a great thing. Like it is the meaning of our life. Doing what we like, what we love. That is what life is meant to be. So thank you so much, man. It was
thank you.
really a great session.
It was a
So
pleasure
before my
to you.
yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay, thank you so much for all your queries and watching your comments. I'm very happy. So, in case anybody has any more queries, or you want to debate with me, or you want to know more about my life, you can check out Swadhyaya online. We're on all the social media portals, and you can, if you have someone who would benefit from our classes, please let them know. The channel name is Stories from Swadhyaya on YouTube. You can check it out, and you can let us know your feedback too. Thank you so much.
Yes, before winding up, we want to give you a vote of thanks. So I welcome Arya Archie of Software Utility to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, all. It's my privilege to propose word of thanks. First and foremost, Shilpa ma'am, a big thanks for finding time for us, and it was a wonderful session. We really thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And it was a
Let me extend our sincere gratitude to our dear principal, Dr. Priya Sri Mahadevan Pillai, for all his support. Thank you, sir. I thank our well-wisher Dr. Krishna Kumar Kishore, IEEE Student Branch Counselor, for his kindness and support. Thank you, sir. I thank all the participants for their support and coordination. Last but not the least, without whom this program won't be done, our dear Kripa Miss and the whole civil department, and also the IEEE Women in Engineering for this success. Thank you all. And once again, thank you all for your support and participation.
Thank you, Arya. The feedback form has been uploaded in our chat box once again. Those who haven't filled yet can fill the form to get your e-certificate. And thank you so much for participating in this webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a great pleasure to interview you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you
And
so
I'll
much.
follow your please.